Okay, so I'm going to do an update on the Trevor Doyle case that I've been following here since last week when he was arrested in Puerto Rico on attempted child luring charges, attempted enticement of a minor, I believe was the official charge. So apparently, a criminal defense lawyer in Puerto Rico named Jose Rivera Santos. Jose Rivera Santos is saying that Trevor Doyle's case may take up to a year to be brought into the court to be heard because of there's a severe backlog of cases in Puerto Rico because there was a hurricane in 2017, Hurricane Maria, which devastated Puerto Rico, and there's still a lot of electrical problems, and the district courts only got up and running in the fall of 2018, so there's still a huge backlog, and then so there's that to deal with, and then also if he chooses to pursue an entrapment defense that a number of people have been talking about, that could take even longer to present his case because of the length of time that it would take to for his attorney to prepare the defense and stuff like that. So officially, in an affidavit submitted to the court by FBI Special Agent Brian P. O'Sullivan, the affidavit states that Doyle used a messaging app to arrange to meet with an undercover agent posing as a 13-year-old and have her perform oral sex on him. So that's the official charge that's being put against him. Now, I know early on a lot of people were talking about how the charge will be a minimum of 10 years and a maximum of life, but now the current school of thought on that is saying that where he hasn't been in trouble a whole lot, the judge may choose to go less than the actual minimum sentencing requirements if he shows that he wasn't in trouble. But then there's the other end of it where a lot of prosecutors in the court systems will go full on after someone for these type of child luring charges, and rightfully so. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration here when one sits down and thinks about what's going to happen with this gentleman. So yeah, for the entrapment defense, a person can have the appearance of being a minor, but if the FBI agent posing as a minor can prove, that the intent was there for him to, if they would have met up and he would have met with an actual 13-year-old, they have to be able to prove that his intent was without a doubt to have, some type of sexual liaison with this underage child. If he was to have met up with them, they have to prove that. And I think in this case, they're not going to have a very hard time proving this with Trevor Doyle, because the chat logs clearly show, he wanted her to do this, this, and this. He wanted her to do this to make sure that they weren't found out, delete messages. There was a lot of back and forth between the FBI agent posing as a 13-year-old and Trevor Doyle prior to their meeting or attempted meeting where he was arrested. So the prosecution is really going to look very closely at all that and bring up every bit of the specifics in the case when they are preparing their case to have Mr. Doyle charged for the attempted enticement of a minor. And I wouldn't be surprised if it did go through, because, as I said, it doesn't take a genius, or you don't have to pass the bar exam to be able to prove that this guy, the intent was there for him to have sex with a child right from jump. So but clearly by what was said in the chat logs, him telling her to delete the messages, asking if her parents checked her phone, setting up to have her meet him at the beach, flash her phone, telling him that he wanted to wait for his roommate to fall asleep before he could meet up with her. His roommate meaning, I would assume, his wife at that point. And because Trevor Doyle was arrested in Puerto Rico, which is a territory of the United States, he's going to be tried under U.S. federal law, and this means he'll most likely be tried in Puerto Rico, and if he's found guilty, he will have to serve his prison sentence there. It's possible for Canadian prisoners detained in foreign countries to apply to spend their sentences in Canada. Between 2016 and 2017, there were 115 transfer applications and only one was rejected. So, but he hasn't entered a plea yet, and they haven't even set a date for his case to be tried or anything moving forward from this point. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens, I guess. So for those of you that are just seeing this video as their first introduction to anything on this case, I just want to go ahead and say that Trevor Doyle is a 44-year-old man from here in the city of Fredericton. He has been the co-host at Capital FM for a number of years, a morning show here in Fredericton. He is currently suspended from that job. Bell Media was contacted, and they stated that he is no longer employed with them. So that's how his case is somewhat of a, I don't want to say high profile, but a number of people know who this gentleman is and are aware of what's going on with him because of his social status here in the city as a well-known radio host. I mean, he's well known. There's only a couple of radio stations in this city, and he was the daytime host of one of them. So it's 106.9 Capital FM. So anyways, I guess we'll wait and see what happens from here. And any comments, just comment below on anything else. Anybody has any other information about this that they want to add, go ahead and comment, leave a like. And you don't have to subscribe, that don't matter. I ain't trying to get rich off YouTube. So anyways, bubble a lot of you.